Hola, mi amores. How are you today? I'm here on this beautiful Saturday. It's about to snow outside, so I figured I'd give you a nice background of snow. Whenever I tape, I try to give you some visuals. And happy Saturday. Thanks for joining me today on Just Desire for Knowledge TV Talk Radio with Know Your Truth Real Talk. I have a special topic for you today. I'd like to thank and say hello to IAAH Radio Plus as well. Hi. Hi out there. Thanks for tuning in. Download the app and join in every Saturday at 3 for Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge. I have some good topics out there. You should come and check them out. Go check me online. Join on all my social medias. Follow me there. And sometimes I have my grill setting. I update my grilling every time that I can, whenever the weather permits. So sometimes I do in the winter, but recently, no. It's been bad out here, and we're expecting that snow tonight. So turn on your fireplaces, sit down, and listen to this video. I'm sure you'd like it. If you know, most of us can resonate with it, and some of us are like, before I resonate with that, let me check this out. Or if I don't resonate with it, I know people that resonate with it. Either way, because we're all human and we go through the same experiences, some of us more than others. So, this is why I'm doing these shows because, like I said, it's life experiences, life lessons, work experience, personal experiences. I pull my content all together from life experience, work experience, everything. Because, as you know, where I work is a bunch of relationships in different forms and manners, criminal, family, marital, but they're all relationships in some form or sense. So I try to bring what I've learned from them here to this platform and actually let people see, okay, this is what I needed to hear, or someone's like me, I understand this and I see where I went wrong or where I went right. It doesn't have to always be wrong, right, people? So come on and join this show channel. Share, like, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you much. I'm not here for the money, so don't worry about that. But when you do come in and watch, like it. You know, even if it doesn't agree with you, it might agree for someone else. So this way, it gets around to the people that need it. Like I said, I don't do anything for money. I do it for different reasons, and that is to get the word out, to get the truth out. All right, that's why this is called Know Your Truth, Real Talk. I know my truth, so I'm going to talk about it. You know your truth. I allow you to bring it to this platform with me when I'm live. Sorry, I'm not live today, guys. I have an event later, and I'm uploading this video now. So with this event in the snow, I figured I'd give you a nice visual in the background as well. But when I do live, I expect you all to come in and give me your truth as well, because we share. You know, everybody has their own truth. My truth is set on my platform because this is what I know, and you can bring yours with me, whether you disagree or not. Just be mature adults about it, and you know, nothing is facts. It's just basically your facts, not true. Sometimes it is true facts, but you know what I mean, right? So let's start. So the topic this week on this Saturday is look in the mirror, blame versus reflection. And what I mean by that is that we have a lot of reasons that we look at others and we blame ourselves. I'm sorry, we blame them for everything instead of ourselves. That's what I should have said. Sometimes you don't see that there is a way to resolve situation because we believe we need to put the blame on other things, other people, the family, and or the environment I grew up in or you grew up in, the ex-partner, wife or husband. And these are one of the most major reasons that you remain stuck in a mental prison, you know? There's always going to be a reason or excuse to figure out that you actually always had. This is what I figured out, but for you to figure it out, you always actually had a role or a part in it if you look deeply inside, because it takes 10% to reflect on what's not working and 90% to fix it. So that's for some people too much to fix. So the 10% works. some don't even want to use that capacity of percentage to even try. Um, so people look, listen, everybody has a story with a villain in it. We all do. My boss did me wrong. My ex is toxic. My family doesn't support me. They use me, whatever the case may be. Or people always hating on me. So when you think about things like that, for me, I'm like, well, let me reflect on myself if this was me, because this is how I grew out of, putting the blame on people. I did it maybe a few times, but not all the time. But there's people that constantly do it. I've seen it. Everybody is the problem but them. But once you realize it's not everybody, it's yourself, now you're reflecting. So my thing is to go to that mirror or look in the mirror, whichever way you want to do it, and look at yourself and say, what have I done to actually, what role have I played in this? That will help you get through. Okay, so if you played a role in it, indirectly or directly, by giving permission for someone to do something to you, or you entered that relationship knowing that it was toxic, you went to that job career knowing that they were going to treat you that way and you stayed there, things like that, and you blame everybody else but you don't know why. You need to reflect on why you made those choices. Those the first thing that will get you to release the baggage of blaming everyone. Because believe me, once you stop blaming people, you release yourself. It's a good release. I had to do that. As I grew older, I realized it. So I'm not saying people don't do wrong. They do, okay? No one's perfect, but here's the part I don't like. If it's always everybody else, then why does it keep happening to you? You ever tried a mirror? That's what you need to do, because the mirror gives you the reflection of yourself, and you have to actually sit down with yourself and look not just to the past things that has happened to you, or why you're in a position of blaming others, but just to see what part you and role you played in it. If you don't see a part and role in it, you could be in denial, or you are really right about blaming someone for something that they've done. And sometimes that is true. Blame is easy. Blame feels good for 5 minutes. It's like fast food, right? Tastes good, ruin you later. Because blaming others is a lot bigger than that. You, when you're blaming others, you don't have to admit you ignored the red flags, right? You don't have to admit you stayed too long. You don't have to admit you wanted it so bad you lied to yourself. Let's be honest. Blame gets applause, and you tell your friends they did you wrong. Everybody's like, this is an example, of course. You get the applause when you tell your friends, um, oh, they did me wrong. Everybody's like, oh yeah, you deserve better. They're trash. Why were you with that? Blah, blah, blah. And that makes you feel better in the end, doesn't it? Come on, let's not be, you want that sympathy, right? Instead of seeing the truth, all right? Because people aren't clapping when you say something like, I should have left the first time, because that doesn't get the applause. So when you don't get the applause, we tend to not want to not bring attention to ourselves. We want to bring attention to ourselves so that people feel sorry for us. Okay, so blame versus accountability. Let me make it plain. All right, blame says you did this, so you fix it. All right, accountability says you did this, but you get to decide what happens next. Accountability is not letting people off the hook, though. It's refusing to be held hostage by what they did. And I saw myself in the situation with that in one of the areas that I worked in a few years ago, many years ago. Not many, it's not that old. But in retrospect, I actually remembered something, and I said to myself when I did this content, I remember that I refuse now to be held hostage for what they did. And that's how you clear yourself, with the reflection of looking at what you allowed them to do to hold you hostage. If you felt that way, hostage doesn't mean really holding you hostage, but holding you back, letting people off the hook. You know what I mean? And not letting them know how you feel, or to yourself, not giving yourself the opportunity to grow through the situation. Instead, it's making it worse for you, and you become a bitter person. It doesn't matter what type of relationship. This is in all relationship, family, personal, work. We're going to bring this all together when we talk about look in the mirror, blame versus reflection, because it could be anything. You put it in your story. Reflection. If your healing depends, this is a reflection. If your healing depends on an apology, you're going to stay sick a long time, because many people won't apologize for it, and that I can give a heads up on. That's the truth. They'll act like they did, and some of them don't even think that they did anything. So that's where it's an issue. If your healing depends on an apology, you're going to stay sick a long time. The mirror questions the mirror always questions when you get triggered, and when you actually ready to go off. Ask yourself, okay? The mirror questions you when you get triggered, when you ready to go off. Ask yourself these things first. What did I tolerate? All right, because what you tolerate will train people how to treat you. Okay, and that's when I said that you have to have self-respect, because if you don't, people won't respect you. What did you ignore? Or say to yourself, what did I ignore? And that feeling you had, that little something is off in your stomach, yeah, that is the feeling. Okay, that's when you know that someone, when you're blaming others, that you should actually look into why you allow it before you blame them. You have a part in it, because these are the evidence, the receipts. Receipts to me is evidence of them contributing into the blame game. You're blaming them, but you should be looking at yourself. The reflection in the mirror is going to always reflect back to you. What did I contribute? Not did I, what did I just contribute, and not what I deserved. Okay, for instance, what did I contribute? Not did I deserve it. Okay, so you contribute to it, but you didn't know that you did. Nobody deserves disrespect, but rather, what choices did I make that kept that door open so that people walked on you, so that people mistreated you, so that people used you in any form or manner, but yet in the end, you blame them for it. You can't do that. What did you contribute? Not did I deserve it? Because that's not it. That's also blaming other people when you said, did you deserve it? No, what did you contribute to it? Honestly, some of you all don't need new people. You need new boundaries. And I've had my shows put up where I have boundaries. 1, 2, 3 boundaries with family, boundaries with friends, boundaries with exes, boundaries with partners. Just boundaries. It's really important that we put them up, because then you'll be someone's walking rug, to welcome mat, I should say. That's what's used now, the welcome mat. You don't want to be a welcome mat to anyone, so go check those out. They're pretty cool, I think. I have another number 3 is blame excuses usually used. Now, these excuses usually used of blaming, people be blaming others instead of looking at the reflection in the mirror. Okay, I'm going to give you a few excuses that are used. I'm just being honest. No, you're being reckless, honestly. You're not being honest, okay? That's just how I am. Oh, okay. Well, without taking responsibility is just cruelty, but that's just how you am. Nope, that's not a personality. That's a habit you refuse to fix. So these are basically phrases that are said to yourself so that you can take the blame excuses that normally you do, blaming other people. It helps you get out of the fact of reflecting on the mirror, and the reflection that comes from that mirror is going to be you. So unless you have someone in the mirror with you, but we're talking about solely you finding yourself, um, knowing that if you do this work that you'll come out better for it. And people say that's just how I am. It's not a personality, that's a habit you refuse to fix. They made me do it. Remember that one? Everybody says that. The criminals in the courthouse says that. Those being charged. You're not a robot. You chose that. And we always say that the judge says it, not in that content, but I'm sharing some stuff from cases and stuff like that that are public. But they made me do it is a big thing in the courts because that's what everybody says when they come. I don't care who they are. That's the line. But you're not a robot. You choose that. Okay? No one can make you do anything. So stop blaming everybody else. And here's another one. If they cared, they would. Wait a minute. Did you ever say what you needed like an adult or like a child? I mean, basically, if they cared, they would. Come on now, make that make sense. We have to take the blame for stuff that we get involved with in that essentially has the effects of a downfall later on if we don't. So here's another one. Everybody does it. Let's say, you see people doing gangs, joining gangs, doing drugs, whatever the case may be, or what have you seen or whatever you partaked in. Here's the excuse. Everybody does it, but everybody also has problems. You want a bitter life or a group chat? A better life? I'm sorry, bitter is exactly what happens. Do you want a better life or a group chat? You want a better life. You don't want a group chat with people that does the same thing. You want to get out of that pattern. So that's where I come into this other part that I discovered, and I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about life patterns. So if you see these patterns, then you're going to recognize it. Okay, one, if you keep meeting liars, that's a pattern. If you keep meeting users, that's a pattern. If you keep meeting people who not switch up on you, not saying you cause their behavior, but I'm just saying, why do they feel comfortable doing it around you though? Lying, using you, and switching up on you. Where's the boundary? Where's the exit? Where's the consequences? Like, we have to put up boundaries. This is where boundaries come in, where people think it's wrong to put up boundaries with family, friends, children, husbands, wives, whatever the case may be, those closest to you. Okay, even friends that aren't close, you have to put boundaries, and your best friend as well. Some people don't respect you until you respect you. Don't forget that. Some people don't respect you until you respect you. Once you do that, which is what I did, I cut a lot of people out of my life now. And long story short, because I don't like to share too much, but certain people won't have that opportunity, and I'm sure they're happy about it, and so am I, because I worked on myself. It's no loss for me, and I wish them well. But if people don't respect you, it's because you don't respect you. And I think at some point I have to take that blame that maybe I didn't respect myself enough, so I didn't care about if I didn't see that they were not respecting me either. You get where I'm coming from? And with that, you're going to understand that this is why a lot of people, whether it's in marriage, relationship, partnership, children, whatever, you're going to get respect if you show respect. And then I say add the boundaries to it. And we love our family and children, most of us, not all of us, because some of us don't have the great families out there. I've seen it in the courts. And we love, our siblings, our children. But sometimes we're just going to have to say, you know what? I'm not going to take it anymore, and I love you enough to put up boundaries. How about that? It's not being mean. It's like, I love you enough to say, you know what, this stops now. Let's talk about it, but you're going to have boundaries. I'm in a marriage, and this is how that works, and this is how it's going to work if you want to remain in my relationship. I'm working here, and this is how this works. And if you need time with me, my work comes first, or whatever it comes for you, or my personal life comes first. But you got to have boundaries with people because they're feeling like they run you, they're entitled to you. And these entitlements, whether it's family, ex-wives, wives, ex-husbands, husbands, I don't know what your situation will be. But these kind of behaviors need to stop. And there has to be boundaries on them. So let's talk about the family guilt and people-pleasing behaviors, because this will resonate with a lot of people. Family guilt, is no joke. People be feeling guilty because it's the blood, they're your bloodline, and blood is thicker than water. And this is what society tells us all the time. But yet sometimes that blood isn't thicker than water, and you can find other people that treat you better than your own family. I've seen this in the courts as well as in personal lives. And they become your soul tribe family. It doesn't have to be blood. That's what we have to look at. Everything doesn't have to be they have my blood. So if they have it out for you, they have your blood, you're just going to let them take you out? I mean, destroy you or manipulate you or whatever? No, no, you can't. You got to stand up for yourself. So family guilt to me got people on a leash, because family guilt is the only bill people pay on time. I mean, you, I've seen too much, and I'm like, family will have you out there doing stuff you don't even agree with, okay? And if you don't agree with it, stand up for yourself. Things like spending money you don't have, showing up where you don't feel safe, okay? Smiling through disrespect, because sometimes you got family that disrespects you, because that's my family. I'm tired of hearing that with people. I took a stand on that with myself and those around me that say they're family or they are my family, and I make you prove it now. Um, because I'm not going to smile through disrespect. I'm going to tell you, you know what, I felt disrespected at that time, and I'm not taking that anymore. And just because you're my bloodline doesn't mean that I'm going to sit back and allow you to do it. And if that happens to you, because I've seen it a lot, this is what you need to do. You need to stand up for yourself. Because the thing is that even though, because that's my family, we got to be very careful when we say stuff like that. What you got to ask yourself is, but are you their family too? You know, because to them, you're just somebody if they treat you like that. Because it doesn't give love, it's giving control. So you got to know when to stand up and decipher between the two. And another thing is what people pleasing really is. First, we went to the family guilt. Now, let me show you what people pleasing is. People pleasing is what it really is. People pleasing is not kindness. Let me just say, it is fear in a nice outfit, all right? Now, what are they in fear of? They're in fear of being rejected, okay? Being talked about. This is when people that are people pleasers. You're, I'm not saying you, I'm generalizing, okay? This is what those type of people do. If this applies to you, then it's you. All right, you don't have to tell nobody. It'll be our secret. It's okay. I've been there. All right, I used to people please. Oh my God. Oof. And I've seen people do it after I've stopped. And I laugh now to myself, not at them. And I said, wow, I used to do this. I stopped. All that stuff stopped. And it's not being mean. It's me taking control of my life back again and not being used by other people anymore. Those same people that you people please will not be there for you. I learned that. Never thanked you. I learned that. So never look for them to pay you back or thank you. Doesn't remember you and include you in anything, which is good to me. I learned to be alone. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. So if you take these initiatives and you built yourself, you know, it's not being I'm better by myself and I'm all in all. No, it's just that you're breaking down the facts of not being used because you allowed people to be entitled to you. That's what I'm gonna say about that. So getting back to that, is it these people are in fear of being rejected, people pleasers, being talked about, people pleasers, being called selfish, that's people pleasing, being the bad one. They don't want to hear it. People pleasing. Being the one they don't invite, you know, people that don't invite. So you over explain, you overdo, you over show up, you over tolerate. You become the family's emotional employee. Okay, let that make sense, all right? Eventually, you'll reflect and see you don't have a big heart. You have a weak boundaries. You have weak boundaries, not a big heart. So stop, stop right now. They're not going to treat you any better by being the family saver, go tour and all of that, because we want to help family. That's good, but if it's constantly only you, take a back step and say, wait a minute, we have more people here. Like if it's a unit of a family and the children always coming to you, wait, you have a mom, you have a dad. Why are you always with coming to me only? No, no, you gotta stop it. It's that right there tells you wait a minute, I'm being used, because there's two people in a relationship, right? You can have a relationship by yourself, but we're talking about two, in families, relationships, and careers, workplace, whatever you want to call it, friendship, marriage. All right. If there's another person involved, why am I the only one they're coming to? That's when you're gonna say this stops now, and see how they react. If they react like, wow, I'm never gonna talk to you again, then you just stood up for yourself and you were being used, because everyone should notice the difference in people when you take a stance. I have, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm gonna give a pat on my back because I'm not being used by people that don't deserve me, and I'm grateful for that. And I pray that happens for you too, because you shouldn't be used. Um, I wanted to say this one part as well. Now that we got through the people pleasing, which is very hard not to notice, but at the same time, when you're doing too much, you have to notice, because those same people aren't going to do it for you. I don't care if they're your mother, father, sister, brother. They're not going to do it back for you. That's when you know you're overkill. You're overdoing it, and stop. You know, it's not going to get you the reward. It's just going to get you, well, they're going to take care of me and I'm entitled to their money type of thing, okay? So now I'm going to go through some family guilts that come with scripts, okay? So listen to these scripts. And if it resonates with you, you'll understand in your family or in your partnership and your career, whatever it is, your workspace, whatever it is. Here is a script. After all I've done for you, this is one of the most famous ones. After all I've done for you, that means I did what I chose to do. Now you owe me forever. That's what that means, okay? So don't forget that. When someone comes to you after all I've done for you, it only means I did what I chose to do. Now you owe me forever. So be careful. You changed. You know, those people that say you changed means you stopped being convenient. You stopped being their ATM. Be careful. So you too good now? Now this is usually, a lot of people say this to other people, which means you think you better than us. Okay. Another a script that is used, because that's the guilt. That's just how they are. You know, means you need to get used to it. Okay, so when someone says, that's just how I am, that's just how they are, it means you need to get used to it, because this is what's going to be for them. Okay, then you got other people in the family or wherever the case may be. Keep the peace. Even at work, I've heard this word. Keep the peace means keep quiet so we can keep acting wrong. Okay, I mean, I've been through most of these scripts, and that's why I wrote them. And this is exactly what the meaning means. Reflection, any peace that requires you being silent is not peace. So be careful of that. That's the reflection. When you go to that mirror, that is the reflection. Every peace that requires you being silent is not peace. It's a hostage situation. They're holding you. Baby girl, baby boy, you're being held hostage, okay? Don't forget that when you're people pleasing, and when you're taking these guilt trips from family members, partnerships, workplaces. Just put it in the scenario that you know this is happening in. Everybody's different. This is a general, for those who are going through some, maybe all, and maybe none. But you'll know when it comes to your door knocking, that you're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, I've heard this on Judge Desire for Knowledge TV talk radio show. I remembered. I know what to do, all right? Because not all of us know everything, not even I. I'm learning with you, you learning with me, we learn together. Now, the biggest lie to me, now that we finished those scripts, family is family, okay? Yes, family is family, but family is not a free pass to disrespect you or act like they're entitled to everything you have. Family should be the safest place, not the place where you got to shrink, perform, and take hits. I mean, if you go into the Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas and New Year's parties with your family and you feel this way, then you must know why. You people please too much. You can't blame yourself later, okay? You people please, all right? If you have to do a whole showcase, you got to shrink down, perform, and take hits, okay? Then you can love these people and still limit them, all right? But love does not mean unlimited access, okay? That means that if you love them, you don't give them unlimited access. Like, don't they have a husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, a child, someone? Um, why are they always at your door, or calling you? That's when you're gonna know. And how do you allow yourself to reflect on it is where the mirror comes in. But don't run from it, all right? For instance, if you're always the one fixing it, like I just said, paying for it, smoothing it over, I'm apologizing first and no one else is, showing up when no one shows up for you, that's rough. Ask yourself, what part of me is addicted to being needed? Yeah, that's people pleasing, because being the strong one can also become a trap. So if you in the family and you're always the strong one, they know that. Um, they're like, yeah, we can give that one a hit. They're strong. They'll get over it. That's behind the scenes. You're not going to know about that, but that can be a trap. They don't value you. They use you. This is if they do. I'm not saying everyone that's a strong one is being used here. But if for any reason that you believe that, what part of you is addicted to being needed? All right, you need to ask yourself that. Being the strong one can become a trap, like I stated, and they don't value you. They use you, and you keep volunteering, volunteering for it. I mean, because it makes you feel important. So don't let them give you signs of like put up their own guilt trip on you by calling you strong. You're always there. You can get through this. I want to be like you. You can be like that person. You're not trying, and so you're reflecting that on that person yourself. They're reflecting it on you, and then you're going to be nice. You're going to give them what they need. You're going to give them the entitlement they're requesting, because you're the one they come to. Now the blame is you're going to blame them. So it's about a blame versus reflection. It goes back and forth. What reflects off a mirror reflects off of you. I mean, come on, it's easy. The same thing goes with visuals, as words. Everything in life is reflection. A reflection on this is, if your value comes from being useful, you'll accept being abused. So be careful. If you're useful, you'll accept being abused, and you don't even know you're being abused. All right, and this is where I like to bring in boundaries. So boundaries that trigger guilt is my next part that I wanted to discuss about here on Know Your Truth Real Talk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Boundaries that trigger guilt. As I stated, most of my videos have a lot of on relationships. Recently, I done the game people play, and I have boundaries 1, 2, or 3. Setting boundaries with family, friends. It's all separate. Go check that out. They're pretty cool. Boundaries that trigger guilt but change your life at the same time. If you set boundaries, believe me, guilt will show up like a bill collector. I'm serious. So, with that being said, because I started setting boundaries in my life, in our lives, I'm married, and I teach my children, who actually taught me boundaries. They was telling me about that at one time, and I caught on. I said, I like that you do boundaries, and I think I'm going to try that out for myself, because they know how nice of a person I can be. But being used is totally different. Entitling other people to take from you and use you, and consider it family, friends, um, children, whatever the case may be, husband, wife, whatever. It's not right. So that's like manipulation, and having someone walk all over you, and knowing that you're the one that they're gonna come to all the time, and nobody else, instead of going to work on what they need to fix it for themselves. They're always looking for someone else to do it for them. So this is the way we can help other people, by not doing it, not unless it's drastic. We have to let them learn that, you know what, you're going to have to learn for yourself, or go somewhere else, because I'm not doing it anymore, because you always have this repeated issue. You always have this problem. I'm here for your problems, but I can't help you this time. You need to get it right, and you need to do it right, and not think that when you fail, you're going to always come to me, or when it doesn't work out, I got you, so I ain't worried about it. That's not how it works, because we keep blaming ourselves. We allow these people to do that. So boundaries that trigger guilt but change your life If you set boundaries, guilt will show up like a bill collector. So try these boundary phrases, okay? And watch how people react. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. I'm not discussing this. I love you, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, just like I said, you can put love in it. You can put love in it because you have to really stop some people that use love in friendship, love in marriage, love in whatever case may be, love in your children, love in anything, family. This is what they use, okay? And then you feel like you have to do it, like you're entitled to do it, and that's the blame. And the reflection comes when you find out and you use these phrases. I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. I'm not discussing this. This is what you need to do to stand up for yourself. I love you, but I'm not doing that. And watch what happens. People who love the old you, the convenient you, are going to act like you committed a crime. And believe me, I've had people that don't talk to me anymore. All right. And I'm saying outside of family and stuff, but this could be within your family. It's different for everybody. All right. And they don't talk to me no more. And I'm happy because you just showed me who you were. And I'm grateful for it because you're not entitled to what I have. You're not entitled to have such a good person or good friend, whatever the case may be for you. You're not entitled to it. And now you shut the doors and you work on making sure that people that think like that never get to your energy, never get your energies like that ever again because it's not good. They cling on and they hang there like dear life, like they can't do it for themselves. And you're not helping them pick up because the more you do it, they're not going to get it. They're going to stay there. That's when we go back to the old saying, well, you know where I came from? I came from the ghetto, but you're not going to ever get out, man. Mentally, that's ghetto mind. You got to get out of that mental state. Look in the mirror and see how you're still there and why you don't want to get out. You choose to stay there. That's it. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming your family for not taking you out of the ghetto. Stop blaming your family for not having money. They have their own issues of blame. It just goes on and on and on. So, and I've heard this my whole life with a lot of people when I think it's excuses, and I'll tell you the story soon because I'll be writing about it. But I could have made excuses my whole life, and I chose to address the situation and change it. That's what I'm going to say. So, in closing, let me end it like this. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep your family warm. All right? That's not love. That's convenience. All right? So, basically, when your boundary is your receipt, if they mad that you have receipts, and I say receipts are evidence, okay? Remember, your boundary is your receipt. And also, you can actually tangibly keep receipts of everything they do so you can show it up to them later. If they mad you have receipts, it's because they was planning to keep spending you, okay? Reflection, you can be a good person without being everybody's doormat, especially your own family or whatever case it may be. All right. And and that's when I say to myself, look, I know I have been, and you have to acknowledge it for yourself. I know I have been a part to blame on certain things in my life, and that stops today. Um, you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, it's going to stop now. No longer will I allow people to use and abuse me and what I've worked so hard for. My time, my effort is important to me, even if it's not money. So, once you start realizing this, it's not just like ending a friendship. Or a partnership or a family member. It will only become that if that was what it was in the first place. Nothing. You can't build a foundation off of anything, nothing, and then come back. Like, let's say it's family. If it is, then they'll treat you like that and understand. And then if they're not, like I just said, you're going to see it. And you can't build off of anything like that. So leave it alone, let it go, and that's it. You can't build off of nothing. I mean, we're all here to build together, not destroy. Those that are here to destroy or destroyers, we don't want a part of that. We're here to build each other up, do it together, separately, or whatever the case. Build yourself up, though. at least love yourself enough to do so. And I hope that you will, like I have, and many other people will do once they listen to this video or have been doing their own work, which I'm very proud of you if you are. Set those boundaries and go watch that video, all right? I got a few of them. I really thank each and every one of you subscribers, family members, and friends, everyone that watches my channel and takes the time out to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much, IAAH Plus Radio, for coming out and putting me out there and tuning in with me every Saturday at 3 o'clock. Next Saturday, I will try to be live. All right, guys? Have a great Saturday. Stay warm under the fireplace because it's snowing outside. That's why I leave you guys with this beautiful visual, bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, is now adjourned. I'll see you next week. Ciao. Happy Saturday.